Inviting sex offenders to your door, it sounds terrifying, doesn't it? But it may be happening in Milwaukee.
The invitation handed out by the city. Fox 6's Ben Handelman with the list you're going to be checking after you see this story.
If you've been through the process lately, you know moving is hard.
He's kind of like stuck.
Donna Wazak faces many challenges in finding an available apartment. First off, she lives in Texas, and the new place, not for her, but for her son.
Winter's coming up. I don't want my son living on the street.
David Wazak has a home, for now, inside the Wisconsin correctional system. Serving time for a crime committed in 2007, the then 19-year-old admitted to giving drugs and having sex with a 14-year-old girl. The crime makes David a registered sex offender.
I'm not saying my son's innocent on this, but every person has a right to have a roof over their head.
Finding a place for David, once he is free, has become more difficult. Wazak cannot go back to his hometown of Oak Creek. New restrictions forbid it. In Milwaukee County, there has been a flurry of communities tightening laws, with many banning offenders from returning. Fearing the city was becoming a sex offender dumping ground, the city of Milwaukee followed suit. A new ordinance creates just a single page of addresses where sex offenders can legally live in the city. But as we found out,
I hate to bother you,
there is a problem.
were you aware that your address is being handed out to sex offenders?
No.
The people whose addresses are on the list,
Right there, right? 5333?
Why are it's being handed out to whom?
To sex offenders?
have no idea.
Okay.
The desire in this case, from the beginning, was to hold the state of Wisconsin Department of Corrections accountable for dumping sex offenders in the city of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee City Clerk Jim Ozarski's office is handing out the list. At first, new restrictions that keep offenders away from things like schools, playgrounds, and parks were displayed for offenders on a map.
It became a geometrical exercise.
Ozarski explains that map has not been very helpful.
It's hard to tell, just looking at it at the level of granularity we have, whether or not a particular property is in or out.
Instead, a computer program was used to identify the exact locations of places outside the restriction areas. Addresses like Kevin Barco's.
Can we get our name taken off of this list? Or our address?
Our door knock, the first time he's heard of the list.
Shocking. Very, very shocking.
Ozarski admits his office is not required to determine if these places are available for rent or purchase.
Do you have any idea how many apartments are on that list?
None. No idea.
And that's not, in your eyes, your responsibility?
The code is not built that way.
Instead, we spent hours searching to see if any of the addresses are actually for rent. We were unsuccessful. In the meantime, residents fear desperate sex offenders needing a roof over their head may soon come knocking. Something we found may already be happening.
He said someone was knocking on his door looking for a place, if anything was available for rent, so that probably corresponds to that.
Obviously, this is an early part of this process, and that unintended consequence, and it certainly is.
A list surprising those who are on it and may not be helping those who need it.
I'm scrambling to try to find out where he can go, where he doesn't have to live on the street.
David Wazak's release date is unclear after a recent fight behind bars. His family says they actually welcome this additional time in prison since they have yet to find a place for him to live. If you want to know if your address is on the list being handed out to offenders, you can check our website, fox6now.com. Guys?
All right, Ben, thank you. You know, a lot of